II.
Right.
So it's not necessarily a conspiracy theory because it is documented and it's true. I mean, it probably was once seen as a conspiracy theory. So have you ever heard of Project MK Ultra?
Yes, I know
Pretty
of it.
well known.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
What would you know about Project MK Ultra?
It's a really good one, MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Is it the Sleeper Soldiers one?
Nah, it's
No.
like mind control experiments
Okay.
that they did to...
We've got him.
yeah.
We've hooked him.
It's a fucking good one.
Yeah.
So like it was like experiments they did on people in order to control them and basically use them potentially as like weapons.
Oh yeah, like what the Illuminati does at Denver Airport. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. And some people say, well, it is a legitimate thing that actually has now come out and said, yes, we did do this.
it's
It was a
documented.
government program,
Yeah.
and they used like acid and stuff on people to see if they could
Yeah.
control them.
Yeah.
Some people reckon that that's what they were doing to matey fucking.
Oh, yeah.
You got onto that.
The Unabomber.
Unabomber. You
Yeah.
got him. You got
Ted
him in there.
Kaczynski.
You got him in there. Fucking.
Yeah. So MK
I'm
Ultra
gonna put a
was
jumper on 'cause it's cold.
was a mind control program. It was the CIA that were running it on human subjects. All of it was illegal at the time. It was all undertaken completely illegally.
Yep.
Obviously, we all know how governments tend to avoid legal responsibilities where they can. Ooh, topical. But yeah, so it's one of a few projects that the US government was doing sort of through the 50s, 60s and 70s. There was like a few other ones called, I think one of them was called Project Bluebird or Project Artichoke, and they were to do with not mind control, but I can't remember. I'll have to...
Bluebird, Artichoke. What's one of those things?
Weird, right?
Aubergine.
Yeah. Sparrow.
Got some- I've got
Gamma ray.
Got some good aubergines growing at the moment.
Have you? Oh,
yeah.
can I fucking put my name down for
see
some
if
of
I can
them?
get you one. Yeah.
I'm big on the aubergines at the minute.
Yeah.
I am banging to the aubergines. Yeah, I fucking love them.
Yeah.
They go really well in a curry.
Oh, yeah, aubergine curry is the
Oh,
one.
mate.
It's the
They
absolute
absorb
one.
the flavours. And I'll tell you what I've done recently, just before we get too deep into the MK Ultra. Aubergine katsu curry.
Yeah.
Fucking levels. It is absolute levels. Yeah. I'll make it for you.
I'll
all
see if I
one
can.
nut.
I'll see if you can have a aubergine. I'm pretty sure I've got
Please.
like about 15 growing.
Oh, fucking
That's
Unless
plenty.
all
One?
my plants might have died because they haven't been watered.
Rosie's going to get excited when she hears this as
Yeah.
well.
Do you like an
I don't want to
aubergine?
disappoint her now.
She loves all veg.
Mm.
There's probably going to be a fucking huge courgette as well because I haven't been down the allotment for about 3 days. 4
Wow.
days.
When does a courgette become a marrow? Because they are just the
I
same
think
thing,
they're
aren't they?
technically two different things.
Oh, are
but
they? I thought it was just a marrow
a
was a
big-
big ass courgette
Yeah,
that get out of hand.
If you get a big courgette, then you can treat it. You can treat it like a marrow, which I think is what.
I think I want this
Rosie.
fact. I want this fact check for the next episode.
All right.
I think a courgette is a marrow, and a marrow is only when it's got to a certain size.
I can already say that's incorrect.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Green fingers, George over here. MK
Yeah,
Ultra.
so effectively it was to try and figure out if they could control people's minds, like Rob said, through the use of drugs. So it started in the 50s, and then it ended in the 70s, I think,
Oh,
mid-70s.
did it?
Who
No.
knows, yeah. So
That's what they fucking want you to think.
that's when it was
It
originally
did not end. That's
yeah.
when they say it ended.
mental. But, I mean, it probably is still happening to some level today.
Well, that all links back in. They all of these link. Isn't it funny how these all link? That links with the Illuminati. That people say it's still going on, and that they've just got really fucking good at it now.
Mm.
And like Jay-Z and Beyonce and that.
That's what I was going to bring up about
Yeah.
when, I don't know if you've seen them on YouTube, there's clips of when people are on live TV and they sort of just stop.
Just
moving.
glitch out.
They
So,
sort
yeah.
of glitch out for a second,
And it's-
maybe about 20, 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they suddenly come back and then they're back in the moment.
Yeah.
And people say, the big conspiracy is that it's all a follow-on from MK Ultra.
Yeah.
They're using celebrities to control through social media, things like
That's
this,
it.
to control what people think and what people do and all that sort of stuff.
And they people say that someone accidentally says their like trigger word to them
Yeah.
or something. That's like maybe could have these embedded
Right.
command words that are meant
Yeah.
to do something, and that they maybe someone accidentally says it to them live TV, or it's like people say their handlers might be nearby and they sort of help reset them by saying another word to them.
Yeah.
Have you got Sirhan? Does he come up in this?
Not on this MK Ultra thing. Who's Sirhan Sirhan?
So Sirhan was the guy that killed Bobby Kennedy. So he assassinated Bobby Kennedy, JFK's brother, and people say that he was in NMK Ultra. He was at least a mind control experiment. He was a guy that was, because he basically says he doesn't remember doing it, and quite shortly afterwards, almost like he snapped out of it and was like, what the fuck's going on, kind of thing. And people say there's like a woman in a red dress.
He is here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Fled the scene. Was seen fled, and people say that she was the handler that switched him on, gave him this fucking keyword, go. Time to kill, whatever, and he went and fucking did it, and then snapped out of it instantly and doesn't remember what he did.
Yeah, so they used that as the defence in his trial. So his
that was
attorney.
basically legal defence, isn't it?
You briefly mentioned, obviously, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. I don't know if people know about the Unabomber.
Great documentary on that.
Is it?
You've seen that on Netflix?
Is it? Because I always thought that was like a dramatised version, but is it actually
a documentary?
Yeah,
there's a documentary, and there is also a like a drama based on it as well.
Okay, maybe I've just seen the drama one. Yeah, because it's really interesting about his life is pretty interesting. But so apparently he was a subject of a voluntary study that was a part of MK Ultra. Obviously, unbeknownst to him, that this study was a part of MK Ultra.
People say it was MK Ultra, don't it? But he definitely did do this study at Harvard. Was it Harvard or?
I think it was Harvard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so he volunteered to be a part of the study, but it was like a pretty intense, brutalising psychological study.
Yeah.
That he spent over 200 hours a part of. Alleged to be a part of MK Ultra, so alleged to have involved certain drugs, certain techniques, torture in some cases, or mental torture, and that may have contributed to his obviously choices later in life and end up with what he did.
Pull up your pop shield ever so slightly. I feel like you're getting a few plosives still come over the top of your mouth.
Or was it a choice?
There we go.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
You said his choices later in life.
Well, exactly, yeah. So,
he was switched on.
Yeah,
but really, he lived in a cabin in the middle of fucking nowhere. No one knew where he was. So,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
So
them.
There's a list here. So, this is from a document. So, a declassified document. So this is a list of the some of the sort of things that they were trying to achieve through these studies. So they were using substances that will promote a logical thinking and impulsiveness to the point where the recipient would be discredited in public. So I'm assuming to do with politicians and things, opponents.
Yeah.
Substances which can increase the efficiency of mentation and perception. So
I think on that first one, quickly, I think there's like a sort of subplot theory which sort of, what's the word, counteracts the aliens thing and then backs up the MK Ultra thing, where people say that like that Bob Lazar guy is an MK Ultra experiment put out there, and he genuinely in his own head believes that he did see this shit, but he's put out there as a dissemination of truth.
I don't know who to believe. Shit. Materials which will prevent or counteract the intoxicating effect of alcohol. That's just pretty boring, right? Although it could be, you said about your aliens.
Your alien drink, they're trying to come up with the alien
drink. It could be
what
that.
The fuck?
What, so you could be out there and we're all pissed, and all of a sudden someone comes up to you and says, badger, mole, and you go.
Materials which will hypnotise people.
Okay.
So you just be able to get people under hypnosis immediately.
Yeah. That's quite that.
And things that will enhance people's ability to withstand torture and coercion. So, if a soldier gets captured out in Vietnam, they'll never give away any trade secrets because they're invulnerable to being tortured. Yeah. In reality, it's all just controlling their mind and shit and fucking their brain up to a point where it can no longer, feel itself.
Yeah. I was just going to say, don't all these things have to be like triggered by a word or something, or is that one to be like they completely reprogram the guy's mind? That
that's what I'm thinking.
So no, this is talking about.
Well, that's what they were trying to achieve anyway.
Substances like a liquid or something
like
that they created.
They used LSD and stuff, didn't they?
But these they took all of the drugs that would in some way have some of these effects on, like cocaine would increase your perception.
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff. And so they'd create substances. They were creating new chemicals that would bring all those effects together into one thing, like an elixir, a cure-all, that they could give to an agent or whatever.
Really, yeah. Well, they were experimenting a lot with LSD as well, weren't they? It's like also
it's like that's the thing that they used. Yeah, amnesia. So they were trying to get people to be able to forget what they were doing, which again, like, was his name Sirhan?
Sirhan, yeah.
Sirhan.
I wonder if this is linked at all as well. This has just suddenly made me think of this thing that I heard once. It's about some drug. I think it's used in like South America or something, and it's supposed to be really fucked up. Where like criminals use it. They basically go up to people and they'll like blow it in their face or something, and then you become like super susceptible. Where they'll just go at your bank account, get your card, withdraw £500 and give it to me.
Vice did a documentary, didn't they?
And then you don't remember it, and it's like fucking horrible. And they can get you to do anything really by this blowing this shit in your face.
I'm sure Vice did a documentary.
I think they did. I think that's what I saw. Yeah,
and like some guy
who
does the doorman of his apartment block saw him come in with these people, and the guy was like, "Why didn't you stop me from like taking?" They literally cleaned out his apartment, and the guy said, "Because you wouldn't let me." He was like,
"Don't worry about it."
Yeah, it's absolutely fine.
Wow,
mad.
And then I don't know whether that's a thing that people that I don't know if anyone's ever made this link, but that could be, an MK Ultra experiment drug thing that got into the hands of some criminals at some point.
Yeah.
I've just worked it out.
I reckon you've cracked it.
I have just. I bet there's a link to that somewhere online, isn't there?
There might even be one on this thing. I mean, I don't know what that. I can't remember what that drug was called.
Yeah, but that is also, I think, that's like legit. Like there is documented evidence of that.
Yeah,
being some drug that fucks people up.
So like most of these, there's about 17 different things, so I won't go through all of them, but they're trying to trigger really strong emotions in people, so be it like euphoria, be it like depression, just trying to alter people's state of being, of what they're currently in, just to control what people are doing. Big thing, like you said, is LSD, so they wanted to try and get Soviet spies to defect by secretly administering LSD to them to get them to come over to the US. They also set up brothels in California. So they wanted to try and trick people into... So the men that would go into these brothels, they didn't want to... Obviously, they won't want to admit to being in a brothel.
Yeah,
I guess
so
at the
puts
time
you in a vulnerable.
Puts you in a vulnerable.
Yeah.
So then
this is also fact, and like this is documented fact that they did. Yeah, they got these Johns.
Yeah,
gave them LSD, and some fucking dude from the FBI would just sit there, behind or with cameras or even behind fucking
one-way
mirrors, just watching them fuck these prostitutes and be like, and it was just like, oh, great excuse. My week this week is going to be, I've got this great idea for, we're going to spend a month watching guys have sex with prostitutes. It's really valuable experiment.
That sounds brilliant.
Yeah. I had to clear that one. On expenses, please. So
they studied LSD in that was perfect, like the way you just described it. Apparently, there was a selection of Nazi scientists recruited after the Second World War. I think it was Operation Paperclip. Pretty well known, but apparently a lot of the Nazi
like scientists.
No, but like the stuff they were working on to do with chemicals and things like that. Not so much gas, but some of their experiments led into MK Ultra and into what later became the project. They looked at LSD, mescaline, cocaine, AMT, which I've not heard of AMT. What is AMT?
Not heard of AMT.
And DMT as well. So they were administering DMT to people, which must have been pretty...
There's some fucked up shit about, like, you ever read about, like, the Nazis being given speed and stuff?
Yeah.
Apparently to give them speed, so they just was just super fucking on one.
Well, in the First World War, they had cocaine in chocolate.
Did they just to
So the German soldiers,
up their mood a bit, basically?
yeah, just like
to hype you up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they used to be sent. In fact, in the British Army, they used to send. I can't remember what drug it was now, but as like hampers to the front, and it would have, speed or some sort of equivalent in it.
You fucking would though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Just to
If I was like on the front line and
yeah.
you're about to go over the trench and people are fucking shooting you, and you just need to fucking run for it and shoot some cunts, then
I'd rather have a quick line.
I'd shove whatever up my nose, whatever in my veins, and I'd fucking run for it.
If there's ever a time to justify a little bump, that's probably it.
Especially in a situation where like flinching or like pussying out of something might cost you your life.
Yeah,
like,
almost definitely will cost you your life.
Yeah, like take anything, just get in that like mindset where you're just gonna fucking go for it and just run. I'm up for it.
You know what? I've just thought of.
Well, that's exactly why fucking geezers getting same mindset as why geezers down the pub.
Yeah, I'm not gonna walk into Spoons and do a line and like, I fucking go for it. I'm not gonna flinch. But you know, if I'm on,
if you had to,
if I'm in Somme, then sure.
Yeah, I've just thought of the perfect conspiracy that I should have spoke about because it's just a great one, and I've missed the chance.
What, Bigfoot?
I might bring it up in another. I'll find a way. I'll shoehorn it in.
I really thought you were going to do Bigfoot, to be honest.
There's no real conspiracies about Bigfoot.
It's just have you seen him or not?
So it's a difficult one. It's a shame not to have an episode without Big. This might be the first episode without a true mention, apart from just saying his name. Mental. This is quite interesting. This one. I mean, it's pretty mental. So one thing they did was they wanted to test what would happen if someone was given an upper and a down at the same time. So they injected a barbiturate.
Nothing. You'd just be...
injected a barbiturate into one arm.
Yeah.
And they'd wait until they were like fucked and falling asleep. Then they'd give them a amphetamine in the other arm and just see what happened. And apparently they just spoke like complete nonsense. You know, would give answers to questions that they hadn't even been answered yet, but also truthful answers to something that they would normally lie about. So they almost saw it as like a truth serum sort of thing.
Okay. Why trust one drug and not the other? That's just politics, man.
But yeah,
I read in books that sometimes there's actually no. Let's say someone I know's mate.
Right.
As an occasion got really, really pissed and then done a few lines of coke, but so pissed that his brain is basically shut off and he can't really function, or body rather I should say, is shut off and can't function, but the lines of coke brain is shut off so he can't function, but the lines of coke keep his body moving around, so like a fucking zombie he's still walking about, but really he's basically asleep, so he's just like, oh fuck it, right. So I guess that's kind of what's happening there. But a more extreme version.
Extreme version of that, where you're still...
You just got a mad sedative, but then you stick some... upper in.
Like your basic functions are still going, so you're still going to be talking and stuff.
Yeah, a much smaller version of that is what I think it basically cancels out and makes you neutral, is that everyone knows if you drink driving, you've had 7 or 8 pints, do a quick line, and even if they pull you over, you'll be like, mate, you're well over the limit. You'll be like, officer, but I had a straightener. Yeah. I had a line and they'll go, oh, fair enough. Here's your keys.
We all know that.
Yeah, we all...
It's common knowledge.
It's common knowledge.
Yeah.
In the Inn on the Green.
Other inns and greens are available.
And colours. Other colour greens.
So basically M-Culture was just the government just getting a load of junkies together, watching have sex, just doing loads of weird experiments on people.
Yeah.
It's having a good time, man. Just lads being lads.
Well, there is also... Anyone seen that footage of the army? It's like it's old footage from the British Army where they gave their troops LSD and like an experiment, and it's like a released document now. And it's like these army troops just walking around the woods, like laughing and shit and trying to climb the trees. And it was like, let's see what would happen if we give these soldiers LSD.
They have a good time.
Yeah. Basically, they have a right old laugh. Yeah, and
couldn't fight a war though.
Couldn't do shit. No, could not do shit.
What would be really good is to have 2 armies going at it, but they're both on LSD.
They just wouldn't fight. What would happen is they wouldn't fight. They'd all sit down and just end up like writing the next Beatles album.
There's a couple of like the generals are not on LSD.
Yeah,
they're still screaming orders, and obviously like these army people have gone through like a decade of training where their minds are like regimented and like built for like authority. So they get told to fight, and they're like, "Fuck, I've got to do it." But they're just having a good time of it, and they're just fucking shooting about.
That sounds kind of horrible. Like that's a weird trip.
That's a good.
Like you think you're actually going through like.
You think you're playing paintball or something?
Rainbows, and really you're just like massacring people.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever played Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, it is a Black Mirror. Isn't
it? Yeah.
You know they go with the flamethrower mask. Like there's like a little clip of him. It's the exact same thing. Like it's through his eyes, like his little reveal trailer.
Yeah.
He's got a flamethrower, but in his eyes everything's like
beautiful,
bunnies and beautiful, and like he's painting clouds in the sky, and but in reality he's just going around just burning people to death and stuff. It's all horrendous.
That's dark.
So there was a few deaths with MK Ultra. One guy got given LSD without his knowledge, like they just dropped it in his coffee or something like that.
That's fucked.
And he committed suicide a week later, jumped out of a window.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
Which is pretty mental. Obviously, I don't think he was on LSD. They don't believe he was on LSD when he jumped out the window, but he obviously had some sort of effect on his mental condition. There was someone else as well, but I can't quite find it now. Well, I mean, there was a few, but he was like the most well known because he was a biochemist with the United States Army and a researcher in their biological weapons department as well.
Oh, yeah,
so
I did hear about that one.
It was like one of their own guys that they,
deep,
were just like fucking pranking.
Yeah. I think they sort of make reference to this a bit in I think it's Pineapple Express, like when they show like right back. There's like this bunker that they end up in, and it's like there's like a flashback, and there's this dude that they basically like getting him to smoke, smoke weed, and he's all just like basically fuck the rules, like fuck you, like, and then end up killing him. Like I think that's meant to be a loose like.
So his family, the family of the guy who killed himself, say that they believe that he was murdered because after his LSD experience, he became a security risk because he divulged state secrets. Obviously, he was involved in biological research, warfare research, and then suddenly he's being fucking drugged by his colleagues. So potentially he's not going to be too happy about that. So apparently he was assassinated to stop him from revealing secrets about MK Ultra and Project Artichoke. Which
did you find
so
that?
It is Artichoke.
Quite remember. It is
not Blue Sparrow, Bluebird. Blue
MK Project Artichoke right there, and Paperclip is mentioned there as well. So I think I've got a feeling that Project Artichoke was specifically involved in LSD,
right?
So it was specifically looking at LSD as a drug or whatever,
mind control
aid. So couple of documented subjects. Obviously, one was the guy that you mentioned, Sirhan Sirhan. Another was
there's a good podcast on that, by the way. The RFK tapes.
RFK tapes.
It comes at it from quite a unbiased. That's the word, yeah. That sort of perspective, and the guy in it kind of asks all the questions that you want to ask. And I might have to listen to it again. Actually, it's pretty good. And it's all about that. It's quite interesting. It doesn't talk about it from an MK Ultra angle at all. It just talks about it how people say it was mind control. It doesn't even mention MK Ultra, but I don't think it does.
I'll check it out. Apparently, Boston mobster James Y.T. Bolger alleged he'd been subjected to weekly doses of LSD whilst he was in prison in 1957. So they were using prisoners as well.
Yeah, that's documented as well.
The big thing. Yeah. Author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest as well. Apparently volunteered for MK Ultra experiments, obviously without knowing exactly what he was volunteering from. They also believe that hippie culture not evolve, but I guess evolve's not, but was like a result of MK Ultra experiments because LSD became a big deal in the US.
Apparently that is how it started getting out, because the government had a load of it and then they started giving it to people for whatever reason. Then it eventually came these guys who managed to sort of grab a load of it, and they became the guys. Have you got the fucking Manson family in there?
It's not on here, but
so they reckon that Charles Manson
was.
Charles Manson, there's a theory that he was an MK Ultra experiment, and mind control thing. There's loads of shit documented apparently that he did get like easy rides on a lot of prison sentences and stuff like that, and they reckon he was a prisoner that they used and had mind control for him and have got him to go and do these fucking murders they did.
Yeah, because he
or it was a mistake. It was like an accidental trigger. He wasn't meant to go and kill these people. That wasn't the plan.
There's a good chance that's the case.
Yeah,
because he thought it was going to be like a race war, didn't he? That was the whole reason.
That's the helter-skelter argument, but then the other.
That's the
GoPro stopping, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll investigate that, but yeah,
I'll lean over and see if it goes again.
I'll have a look. Go on, carry on.
Go on, yeah. Also, tilt it a bit this way. I feel like I'm out of shot.
Okay.
A bit late now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's been moved the last time Rob got up.
How do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I've really got for MK Ultra, because a lot of the stuff you have to go into...
Yeah, SD full.
Oh.
Says full.
SD full, yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, we go from the other cameras. That's cool.
Yeah.
You get all close-ups now.
That's what I've really got for MK Ultra, because a lot of it is pretty like heavy document stuff. There's a lot of dates and stuff. It's not particularly interesting. The gist of it is that the US government experimented on army personnel and prisoners using LSD in the 50s, 60s and 70s.